Kingdom Hearts is a series that is loved by many, and it may come to a surprise to no one that I love this franchise as well. Growing up, I was never much of an RPG guy. I mean, sure, I played a few here and there, like Digimon World 3 and Final Fantasy VII, but I wouldn't get too far before I got bored and played something more fast-paced, like a fighting game or something like that. This would all change when my cousin introduced me to the first game in the franchise, and I'll admit, I was a bit hesitant at first, but with a little bit of peer pressure, I gave in, and man was I not disappointed. There was something about it that just clicked with me. Maybe it was the combat, or the story, or the fact that Donald Duck and Goofy were fighting alongside this anime child with a big old key. Yeah, it was probably that, but it was then on that Kingdom Hearts became an integral part of my gaming history. As soon as I got home, I begged my parents for a PS2 so I could play this magical game, and on Christmas of 2004, I got a GameCube. Oh, well, at least I got to play it at my cousin's every weekend. And then he showed me Kingdom Hearts 2, and I was like, what? And then I played it, and I was like, what? And then he was like, oh, you haven't played this one yet? Whipped out his Game Boy Advance, showed me Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and I was like, what? Okay, yeah, I was a bit taken aback by this at first. How could I not be? Kingdom Hearts 2, oh yeah, spoilers by the way, opens with a completely different character who sort of looks like Sora, but totally isn't, and then there's these white spermy things and you're doing chores and jobs, and then Sora appears out of a damn cocoon with no clue what the hell is happening, just to realize that the whole weekend flew by because the intro is so goddamn long. Then, get this. There was a prequel game called Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories released on a totally different system that explains everything leading up to the events in the sequel. And if that wasn't enough, the same game would be released again for the PS2. This trend would continue for over 10 years, with several different games being released that would flesh out the story, only to make it a near incoherent mess to those who have never played a Kingdom Hearts game before. Even the mobile game, exclusive to Japan of all things, builds on the story for some reason. Ugh, why? Regardless, I kept up the best I could, mostly by watching reviews and such, but after 13 years, Kingdom Hearts 3 finally made it to our PS4s and Xbox Ones. Cool. Needless to say, I was a little excited.
Oh my god! Oh yes! Oh! What? Oh my god, look at that!
Okay, a lot excited. But how could I not be? It had been years since I finished Kingdom Hearts 2 proper, and I've been craving to see how the series ends. So, without further ado, let's dive into Kingdom Hearts 3, shall we? Oh, minor spoilers ahead. Don't worry, I won't spoil everything story-wise, so, yeah, here we go. Oh, sorry, let me just... There we are. Kingdom Hearts 3 picks up directly after Dream Drop Distance, where Sora along with Donald and Goofy are tasked to regain Sora's ability to restore hearts, called the Power of Awakening, after nearly being consumed by darkness in the last game. The three half-pints set off on their journey in search of someone who may help Sora regain his power. After some follow-your-heart mumbo-jumbo and using his Keyblade, they make their way towards a returning world, Olympus Coliseum, but are shot off course. Upon arrival, they find that Hades, once again voiced by the great James Woods, is up to his old tricks again. This time he has acquired the aid of the Titans and is hell-bent on finally defeating Zeus and taking over Olympus. After a brief interaction with Hades, he uses the power of the Titans to blow Sora, Donald, and Goofy into the nearby city of Thebes, where they are rescued by Hercules and promptly join him in rescuing civilians from the chaos that has enveloped the city. Also, Maleficent and Peter here. Cool. After rescuing everyone and dealing with the Heartless, Hercules makes his way to Mount Olympus, leaving Sora, Donald, and Goofy to make their way up the mountain, dealing with whatever comes their way, leading to an encounter with the Rock Titan. Soon the trio arrive to the pearly gates of the gods' home and come upon Hades and the Titans already engulfing Zeus in a molten prison. But fear not, Hercules flies in to join our heroes to defeat the Titans and reclaim Olympus. After an intense battle with 3 Titans, and Hercules smacking Hades down like the little bitch he is, Sora, Donald, and Goofy leave Olympus to continue the journey. Meanwhile, in the Dark World, Riku and Mickey Mouse... you know, as I'm saying this, it just gets more ridiculous. Anyway, Riku and Mickey are out looking for their friend when all of a sudden... Heartless. But not just any Heartless, a metric ton of them, and they want nothing more than to slaughter the face of an evil corporation and his little boy. Riku is swallowed by the darkness but reawakens to find his Keyblade is broken and decides to leave it behind and regroup with the others, where Master Yen Sid sends Mickey and Riku off to help Kairi and Lee by giving them... clothes. Okay then. Sora gets some sweet new duds too, upgrading from boring old belts to plaid. Can't go wrong with plaid, yo. With everyone's goals set before them, we finally get into... Yeah! There, that's better. The story to Kingdom Hearts 3 is what I had always hoped for, and believe me when I say this, I was grinning ear to ear when I finished. As someone who's been a fan since the very beginning, I'm sad to see this saga come to an end, but also I'm so joyful to see what the series holds in the future. But I will say, if you haven't played any other games in this series, you're going to be very lost. This is a game for those who've played all prior entries or at least spent some time researching the series before diving into this game, and I highly recommend doing your homework before jumping into it head first unless you like gargling on goddamn gravel. I've already seen some pretty harsh things online about the story, and I'm pretty sure 90% of them are from people who either haven't played a game since the PS2 days or haven't played any of the games, in which case, why are you complaining?
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
There are countless threads and videos online, so either start from the beginning or deal with what you get.
What does any of this mean?
Regardless, if you haven't gotten a grasp on the story, you will definitely find something to enjoy about Kingdom Hearts 3. Visually, this game is astonishing, and it takes full advantage of the graphical capabilities of each console. Every world was a wonder to traverse and represent each of their respected series very well. There are a total of 9 worlds, mostly Disney themed as per the series norm, but hey, there's Pixar worlds this time around, and I'm so happy that Toy Story got its time to shine finally. And yes, I'm going to talk about all of them right now! Olympus is a staple of the series at this point, and as much as I am tired of seeing it, I really enjoyed seeing it in this much peril, and by the gods, Mount Olympus is just fantastic, with how many secret areas you can explore, and it's just a sight to see. Twilight Town is actually filled with people this time around. Gee, it's almost like it should be a town or something. And it's also where we find Remy from Ratatouille. Oh my god, look at him, he's so small and I love him. Toy Box was the world that I was looking forward to the most, since Toy Story is one of my favorite series in the Pixar lineup, but I knew it would be the most varied in not only level design, but enemy designs as well. Sure, it was fun running in and out of Andy's room, but the mall is where it's at. There are so many different toys that wind up getting possessed, and fighting them reminded me a lot of the adventures I created as a kid with my toys. Not sure how I feel about Buzz and his prejudice towards video game characters, though.
It probably means they split this world in two. Your friends in one world, us in the other. Only one of the worlds is real, and the other is just really convincing.
You can't be serious. Oh, that's right, you're from a video game.
Jesus, Buzz, what the hell? Kingdom of Corneria... Damn it! Kingdom of Cornholio... Fuck! Kingdom of Corona is a fun time all around, and I loved interacting with Rapunzel when she first leaves her tower.
Oh, Sora!
Okay, you're in for it.
A rainbow!
It's fun to just interact with the environment, especially when you make it to the kingdom. The whole dance sequence was a joy to play, even if I was terrible at it. Monstropolis was one of those levels that really left me in awe, not just because of how the level it's designed itself, but how close we have come to recreating big-budget 3D animation and interactive media. Not to mention that door scene at the end of the world was hilarious.
Over here, Sully!
Close it, quick! Ooh!
Then there's Arendelle, and it's f***ing awesome. It's no surprise that Frozen made its way into this game, seeing as it was one of Disney's biggest successes both in cinema and merchandising. I distinctly remember Let It Go playing on the radio while I was working at my local Pizza Hut, and everyone, and I mean everyone, joined in, even yours truly. Of course, being surrounded by people who would not shut up about Frozen got to me, and I wound up loathing the idea of it being in Kingdom Hearts 3, but this world quickly grew on me, and how gorgeous it was. I mean, look at the snow as it moves when you run through it. Move over, Da Vinci. Get out of the way, Picasso. This is true art. I also love how Sora, Donald, and Goofy are just there when Elsa sings Let It Go. It's just hilarious, all things considered. Oh, look, a watermark. I'm not quite sure how I felt about Anna telling Sora what happened and Do You Want to Build a Snowman began playing while they were talking over each other. It was just a little weird. Oh boy, the 100 Acre Wood is back and it sucks. What happened here? All you do is play a few minigames and it's just over. Where are all the minigames from Kingdom Hearts 2? And where the hell are Eeyore and Owl? Did this monstrosity eat them or something? Oh well, at least the graphic style is cool. Yo ho, yo ho, this level's great. Yes, the Caribbean is back and wow, is it gorgeous. I can't believe how well these two art styles mesh. I got a serious Super Smash Bros. Brawl vibe with how gritty the texturing was on our three heroes, and I'm gonna say it, this is the best looking stage, bar none. I was very hesitant since I'm not the biggest fan of naval traversal and combat, but the world is so much fun to explore with the many islands to scavenge around, and when the time did come for combat, I loved it. They could have stuck to aim your cannons and fire formula, but they packed in so much ridiculous shit, like water shields and literally leaping out of the water for a finisher. It's great, 10 out of 10, best world. Next, San Francisco, the closest we'll probably ever get to an actual Marvel level in this series, and while I did find it pretty lackluster towards the beginning, it did pick up with the near non-stop action throughout the rest of this world's story. I only wish it was longer because hot damn this world is fun to explore, and I would have loved to fight more supervillains or something like that. Also Baymax. Just Baymax.
Ba-la-la-la-la-la.
Ba-la-la-la-la-la.
I do wish there were more Disney worlds to explore, but I feel like what we got here are fantastic for the most part. I do like how we got a mixed bag in terms of how these worlds play out. Some worlds' stories are very condensed versions of their original stories, with Sora, Donald, and Goofy just kind of there, while others take place after the films, creating their own stories, and for the most part, they work very well. I did find it funny how pointless Hans was in Arendelle. Just like in the movie! Some of these are stronger than others, but I had a great time in each regardless, and the Disney characters are still as lovable as ever. However, I found it odd that there was a lack of Final Fantasy characters. I mean, besides the Moogle who runs the shop, there is next to no Final Fantasy representation. Sure, there are a few gummy ship blueprints and this cactus dude appearing in Toy Box, but what happened to them all? I would have been fine with a few of them maybe walking around Twilight Town, or maybe some could appear in a few Disney worlds or something along that line, but there are none of them here and it's kind of disappointing. The voice acting is still cheesy as ever, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Many Kingdom Hearts veterans returned to voice their titular characters like Haley Joel Osment, David Gallagher, and Alison Stoner for Sora, Riku, and Kairi. Not to mention several voice actors reprise their roles from Disney films like Josh Gad, Idina Menzel, Kristen Bell, Tate Donovan, Susan Egan, Kevin McNally, Scott Adsit, and even Pixar veteran John motherfucking Ratzenberger. Of course, they couldn't get all of the voice actors to return, and most of them do a great job, but it's very weird hearing this guy coming out of this guy. Oh my god, did I really just write that? Jesus. When it comes to music, I never really found Kingdom Hearts to have the strongest soundtracks in the world, but here it gets the job done. The opening theme, Face My Fears, is by far the best I've heard in the series, and was made possible with the help of Skrillex of all people, and if you haven't heard it, I highly recommend you give it a listen. Visually and sound-wise, the game is a wonder to the senses. While I did run into a few frame drops here and there, and some of the voices do sound a bit off, it really didn't bother me because I was just having a blast playing through it overall. Gameplay-wise, KH3 builds upon many of the past games by refining the combat and traversal. Sora can now run up walls to better combat enemies who may be high above or below, since he can skydive and slam to the ground, which not only deals a good portion of damage,
That's a lot of damage!
but also breaks open objects too tough for Sora to break through normally. Flow motion makes a return from Dream Drop's distance, but it's pretty nerfed all things considered. Sora won't be flying around at ludicrous speed like Dream Drop, which is great for those starting out. You can still get higher jumps, get the ability to glide, and even perform shot lock commands to zip across the stage at certain points, but I'm wondering how Sora learned to do this since these commands were only used in Birth by Sleep by Aqua, Terra, and Ventus to my knowledge. Maybe Jensen pulled it out like a TM in Pokemon and shoved it down Sora's throat. Sora can now wield up to 3 Keyblades at once, and you can switch between them whenever you wish with the D-pad. You can't dual wield them at any point, which I guess is fine. I would have loved to use the Favorite Deputy and Wheel of Fate at the same time to dish out some serious damage. It's not really the end of the world though. I honestly didn't find myself switching between them too much. Maybe it's because I'm so used to how it was handled in prior games, but now I really don't have to worry about prioritizing a certain Keyblade since they're now upgradable. Doing so will increase its strength and magic power and maybe a hidden perk, so if you don't want to give up using a specific Keyblade for a better one, Well, you can use synthesis materials and bam, there you go. Your attacks will get longer and flashier with time while leveling up, and hey, Donald and Goofy are far more capable this time around. Sure, you can set preferences to help you in battle, but they're great for dealing damage, helping Sora with special moves, and Donald finally doesn't suck. You can even have 5 party members with you at all times, and all I can say is it's about damn time. In older games, you had to switch out party members based on your preference, and it got a little annoying at times, but gone are those days, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is better for it. And you're going to need as many partners as you can get, since the number of Heartless you can encounter at any given time is ridiculous. It can be chaotic to keep up with the action during the early parts of the game, but this game gives you plenty of options to deal with them. If you're not using team commands, you can build up your Keyblade's power and tap into a form change, which gives Sora new means of dishing out damage and even perform super shot lock maneuvers depending on which Keyblade you have equipped. You can make entrees with Remy from Ratatouille if you please, and doing so will grant buffs to your strength, magic, the works really, and they look so damn good to boot. Maybe if I eat the game, I will become stronger. Then the world will truly know fear. If you use magic enough times, you can use a super form of that magic, and eventually you unlock links, which are this game's version of summons. You can leap around on your tree meter, swim with Ariel, wreck it with Ralph, or ignite everything around you with Simba. They use up your magic meter, but enemies tend to drop mana that refills your magic bars, so you can get right back into the action with your preferred summon. You can even call upon Disneyland itself with several rides from the theme park, like a swinging ship, magical teacups, a water slide, a carousel, and a laser blaster. These were a lot of fun at first, but I found myself skipping over these when the prompt came up. Except for the roller coaster, that thing is metal. You can get these attacks by hitting enemies with a green ring around them, and I think it's random every time, and if you get one that you don't like, you can ignore it or use it and cancel it out right away, which is nice. With everything at your disposal, you'll have an easy time throughout your adventure. I highly recommend playing this game on Proud Mode if you want a challenge, which I didn't do, but even if you use the ability to not level up, why would you though? You'll breeze through this game no problem. I think I died maybe twice, but I had a Koopo coin both times, which saved me from death, so it's all good. This air battle though, this air battle can suck my... Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the gummy ship. Yeah, the gummy ship makes its grand return, and thank God it's not as boring as the first game. Granted, it's not as high octane as in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I find that it strikes a balance between the two. I didn't spend too much time in my gummy ship except to make my way to other worlds and harvesting synthesis materials, but there are a lot of other things to do while flying through the cosmos. You can find large treasure orbs for extra moolah, extra parts for your gummy, or waves of enemies varying in degrees of difficulty that offer experience and parts for your ship, as well as hidden boss fights, which I found to be a lot of fun to just stumble across. Speaking of bosses, they're awesome. I mean, the first boss you fight is the Rock Titan, which is followed by 3 Titans at once. Yeah, some are a bit underwhelming, like I didn't find the UFO boss in Toy Box to be that spectacular, and the first part of the Dark Baymax fight was a little weak, but makes up for it with how awesome it is to fly around with Baymax in the final encounter. I really love how flashy the attacks of the bosses are, and just when I thought I'd seen everything they threw at me, they do something even more mind-bogglingly awesome. Who knew that the weakest Disney villain would have the coolest Heartless form? I mean, seriously! I did find the lack of Disney villain battles to be a bit upsetting, but what we got was pretty great, all things considered. All around, the gameplay is the best it has ever been. Sora's combat and his traversal abilities are just so flashy and all around fun to use. I can seriously recommend Kingdom Hearts 3 on that alone. If you're not a fan of the story and for whatever reason the presentation doesn't grab your attention, then the gameplay will most certainly do it for you. And that, my friends, is Kingdom Hearts 3. And while I did feel that the game is more style over substance overall, I really didn't care because it's just a wonderful game despite its glaring issues. The story is a great way to end off this particular saga. The presentation is a spectacle to behold, and while I did find the game easy at times, it's still a lot of fun to play. It's one of the fastest selling games in the franchise, and if you want to jump into the series, now is the time to do it. Be prepared to be confused though. Very, very confused. With that being said, my name is Ace, and don't forget to live strong, game on, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.